The Escher Man is a 2024 novel by T.R. Napper. It is told in the first-person point of view from our narrator, Endil Endgame Ebbinghaus. He kills people. He lives and works in Macau, China, a former Portuguese colony like Hong Kong was British. But rather than being booming and lots of things, Macau is really known for gambling and, its history somewhat. It's pretty much considered a dark town. It's also the most densely populated place on the planet in this story. And this tone is, all set with plenty of death seasoning the mix. If you've read his other books, the vibe is about the same. It's very visceral, cyberpunk that gets into your head like a drug. Endgame has a wife and child, or rather, an ex-wife. He seems estranged, out of the picture, but still in love, in some sense. He's just rather violent, and that seems to be what keeps him away. He's from Australia, originally. He doesn't speak Cantonese or Mandarin, but tech allows for a seamless translation. And he's addicted to coffee, liquor, and cigarettes, and, his Aussie sense of humor. Mr. Long is a fancy drug dealer, dealing in memories and other high-end things. He has old eyes, but a young face. Obviously, some modifications are going on here. And he's obviously not a good guy, even though he's the boss when we meet him. The messing with memories, which I've seen some of Napper's short stories, is on full display here, as Ebbinghaus doesn't really seem to remember some very important things. And this, pisses him off. There's not much he can do about it sometimes, though. We'll see kind of how it goes. It's dark and gritty, as always, getting into the abuses of humanity by humanity. Also, a look at how fake social media is. As before, it's kind of a thriller, rather, than noir, or, a big idea, transhumanism type of cyberpunk. It touches on modern problems, though. Very, very much, Napper does a good job of making cyberpunk relevant today and not seem like an 80s or 90s trend only. And especially, I think, with this social media addiction type of thing, it does bring into the mind the Matrix, though, at times. And it's very saturated with violence. Also, again, the fake social media, which is actually appropriately called ego. It is dedicated to Kazuo Ishiguro, who I've read very little of, so probably some thematic similarities or homage there that I didn't really see, but I did see actually some to The Buried Giant, which actually, this is a better book than The Buried Giant, in my opinion, as far as memory is concerned. Overall, it is a fun book, but I had a harder time getting into this one than the others, being 36 Streets or Ghosts of the Neon God. I think the points could have been made quicker and things wrapped up a little tighter, but what do I know, right? I mean, I'm just a reviewer. I did enjoy the inclusion of rock music, and the newsfeed at the end is all too real, and the end is good. I just felt like that you have very similar themes, I would argue, in some of his short stories that were published in magazines and collated for Neon Leviathan. I feel like they just kind of hit harder there, just in the short story format. I mean, this is not a super long novel, but it does seem, again, slightly longer than it needs to when I've seen Napper do it in, say, 20 to 30 pages. So anyways, there is one cool thing I liked, actually. There's a character's last name is Pham, who I have a friend in real life that is their last name. But also, here's one thing to remember, though, for the story. We are slaves to memory, and what if you could forge your own past for a better future? What if you could forget? What if someone else made you forget? And what else could you really forget? Could you forget your family? Should you forget who you are? Well, let's find out. Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.